Y'all are probably curious, what do F1 drivers drive? My name is Alex. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We're going to check out every F1 driver's car collection. And let's get on into it. Go check out Daily Fuel Up. And
these are the cars F1 drivers really drive. Let's start with F1's intro order. Gabriel Bortoleto. Dude's an F1 driver and we still don't know yet what road legal car he owns. He's that new to the paddock. However, not that new for a plot twist, because in June 2025, the Brazilian had his car stolen in Zurich, where his team is based, with his passport, laptop, and other belongings inside. Luckily, he recovered most of it, and secured a second passport in time to travel for the Canadian GP race weekend. Gabby handled a heist mid-season and still made it to the race. You can definitely handle one click and subscribe to make it to the best F1 channel. Since he has no collection yet, let's swerve hard into a veteran with a verified weapon and some dream cars. Nico's track weapon isn't just a fast 911, it's the Porsche 911 GT2 RS MR, the Monte Racing prepped special built off the 2018 GT2 RS. It's the kind of hardware that matches the Le Mans winner's sensibilities, because it's about lap time first, bragging rights second, which is a contrast from the first car he ever drove, which was his mum's Volkswagen Golf. But what if I tell you there's something that would make his Porsche look like the Golf? That's right, he owns an incredible Pagani Huayra, a car that sings Italian opera, twin-turbo V12, turbo spooling like a standing ovation, a car that moves the air itself. He also has an electric smart car and drives an amazing red tractor in his free time. And I'm not talking about a Ferrari.
Hey, when you gotta get work done, you gotta get work done.
From a pretty neat collection to a driver who splits his miles.
You guys wanna know what this means? Click that subscribe button so we can hit 100k subscribers. And hit the like button if you guys like me doing these F1 drivers. This Formula 1 content.
Between comfy and savage, Albon keeps his road life neatly split. One for family duty, one for lap time homework. He allegedly daily drives a Mercedes-AMG G63, the current gen brick from 2018 to present, and he said he uses it as the practical family hauler. The vibe is upright, spacious, and unbothered. Trackside, he pointed to the Porsche 911 GT3 RS as the dream tool and said he'd ordered it and was waiting on it. That's the car where aero and damping do the talking. He grew up around classic minis and his early road car was a Mini. Humble roots, tidy inputs. The dual life of his two cars is like his actual life. On the weekends, F1 driver, then golf player. Commuter box Monday, splitter Nouran RS Friday. It's one part family, one part fun, and 100% German car enthusiast. So what about his teammate? Chili's road car history is a bit like Hulkenberg's. A Volkswagen Golf, but this time it was gifted from his parents.
I have a Golf.
And in 2023, he took the delivery of a tailor-made Ferrari 812 Competizione, limited series 6.5-litre V12, finished with cheeky, smooth operator details that make it unmistakably his. Respectfully, calling your first personal buy an 812 is top-class energy. One very serious Ferrari with his name all over the spec sheet. The tone fits him, measured, proud, not flashy. Keep that melody of an Italian V12 in your ear, because next we spotlight a rising star where the attention sits on pace over possessions. Isaac Hadjar is a kid who's all lap times and barely any driveway, even though he hasn't been publicly spotted driving a car and there's not really much information out there. In a quick interview, he says he drives a smart Brabus.
Je roule avec quoi au quotidien?
Smart.
Ok. Smart
Brabus.
And when asked about his dream car, he pointed straight at Porsche's GT2 RS. He even joked he'd switch.
It's either the GT2 RS or the GT3 RS. They're just beautiful cars and great cars.
Lives with Lewis just to make that purchase. Do you remember that, Lewis?
I don't remember that.
This keeps the Hulkenberg vibe a low-key practical lifestyle. Tiny city car and a GT2 RS, which could be just a goal right now. But that's one hell of a motivation. And if there's someone who didn't waste their time on achieving their dream car, that's definitely Liam Lawson. His collection may just be one car, but it's a one-of-a-kind car.
Speechless.
Supra.
Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Dude, it's
it's a good car and it's a good daily driver too.
Bro, it looks so sick.
A Toyota GR Supra that he's had extensively modified through an Auto ID build, with coverage citing a tuned output around 650 horsepower and making it the clear centerpiece of his garage narrative. However, let's rewind a bit. Before the Supra, the first car that he owned was something very different. A 2000 Subaru Forester that he modified by hand and then donated to charity. He and a mate swapped in a turbo, ECU, exhaust, coilovers, upgraded clutch, intercooler, basically turned a daily into a one-of-a-kind project beast, showing that he's one of the real car enthusiasts remaining on the grid. The best part? He donated it to charity auction, truly showing one side of his personality not many people know. That's the DIY chapter, now with the VIP chapter. Oliver Behrman's sponsor, Thunder Pro, publicly gifted him a Ferrari Roma for his 18th birthday in 2023. The best part? In 2022, he'd failed his first driving test before...
That's wild. I remember it was called Kimi. He couldn't even drive his because he was underage. And I think he even passed, like...
Passing on the second go. Imagine being one of the fastest guys on the planet and still...
Max Verstappen was 16 years old and he didn't even have a license and he was driving an F1 car.
A driving test. That is irony at its finest. Let's move from a gifted prancing horse to a driver who had to grind for his. Esteban Ocon's collection is a little harder to pin down, mostly because it's not a lineup of 50 cars. It's a handful of really striking ones. Let's start with his most recent purchase, a Toyota GR Yaris Sebastian Ogier edition.
This one is very special, only 200 units. And it's a car that I wanted for a very long time, so here she is.
One of only 200 units built, a rally-bred hot hatch that proves Ocon isn't just about F1 lap times. He's got a love for the WRC world too. And then swing to the opposite end of the spectrum. A Mansuri-tuned Lamborghini Revuelto, another one of one, packing nearly 870 horsepower. He also has more
I've never seen a Revuelto in a Mansuri Revuelto. That's insane! It looks like a Batmobile. I'm not joking. That actually looks really clean. It makes it look more aggressive. Or is that just me? Like, it reminds me of the Cian and the Aventador. Like, had a baby. And they made this. This is insane. This is what Mansuri did? Sheesh! That is beautiful.
Another one of one, packing nearly 8...
For you guys that don't know, I'm a big Lamborghini fanboy. I have a shirt. Well, I'm wearing Ferrari today. And... Ferrari phone case, but well, yes, we do have Enzo Ferrari. We got a Lamborghini Diablo, and then all in the back, that blue one, there's a Lamborghini Gallardo.
Horsepower. He also has more Vuelto, another one of one, packing nearly 870 horsepower.
Low-key, this is my favorite out of all of them. Ocon, you have impressed me.
Mansuri-tuned Lamborghini Revuelto, another one of one, packing nearly 870 horsepower. He also has more common cars, a Ferrari 296 GTB, a Corvette ZR1, and a BMW Z3M that he imported with his dad as a restoration project. Oh, and let's not forget, Alpine literally gave him the A521 Formula 1 car he drove to his very first Grand Prix victory in Hungary 2021.
Just hang that up in your house, bro. Or put it on the wall.
Ocon wins the Hungarian Grand Prix!
There's another driver behind the wheel of an Alpine too, but a far less valuable one, and it's Franco Colapinto. He used to get around in a Renault Espace Esprit Alpine, the 7-seater supplied as part of his Alpine deal. Luckily for him, the French team swapped his humble Renault Espace daily for a more exciting whip, a new A110, a lightweight mid-engine coupe the brand even tested on Argentinian roads before launch. And then there's the Buenos Aires flex. Franco's been filmed cruising his Shelby-style Cobra, lighting up the city like it's 1965 again. He was even named honorary member of Argentina's Owners of Cobra Club, which gathers the 200+ Cobra replicas roaming the country. That says car culture guy, not just F1 guy. And since we're already talking Alpine keys, let's pass him over to his teammate and keep the French theme alive. When Pierre Gasly arrived at Alpine, he was handed an Alpine A110S as the company car, but the garage goes way beyond that. Per reporting, Gasly's keys cover a tidy spread. Audi Q8 for the daily, Mercedes AMG GT when...
Oh, that's another solid car. The color, beautiful too. I think this is the 2020.
Reporting Gasly's keys cover a tidy spread. Audi Q8 for the daily, Mercedes AMG GT when sensible clocks out, an Aston Martin Vantage V8, and DBS Superleggera for Grand Touring Drama, a Porsche 911 Turbo as the I'm late solution, a McLaren 720S for track-adjacent chaos, and a Ferrari 812 Superfast to finish the set with V12 Thunder. Small showroom? Maybe. Small aura? Not at all. Time to switch from Alpine Blue to British Racing Green. Cameras love him in a Vantage, sure, but Lance's real car lore drives around like a museum on place. We're talking 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO, 1958 250 Testarossa, 1967 330 P4, a 1996 McLaren F1, and a Ford GT.
Is this all Daddy's money? Because he hasn't won a single F1 race, bro. Bro's had more crashes. These cars are fucking valuable. What the heck?
That's the kind of roll call that makes collectors stare at the ceiling and rethink life choices. Fun fact, his family used to own a Ferrari dealership in Canada. However, this isn't just a rich kid with toys. It's much more. It's like a childhood dream coming full circle. A kid who grew up idolizing Ferrari, joined the Ferrari Driver Academy at 11, and now curates a road-going shrine to the Prancing Horse. That's heritage meeting horsepower. Stroll's garage looks astonishing, but across the same garage sits a man whose car history isn't about inheritance, it's about obsession. Some drivers collect merch. El Nano helped build the merch. First, the Aston Martin Valiant, an ultra-limited manual gearbox V12 developed with Alonso. Just 38 units, 6-speed manual. It debuted at Goodwood, where the Spaniard drove it himself. And Fernando's portfolio includes more than just one machine. He's lent his name to a couple special editions. The 2012 Ferrari 599 GTB 60 F1 Alonso Edition, a limited run of 40 cars marketing 60 years since Ferrari's first F1 win. The end of the 599's run, and Alonso's achievements in red. Would it shock anyone if he owned one of the 40? Not really. Also, the Alpine A110R Fernando Alonso Edition capped at 32 units, each tied to one of his 32 GP wins. It landed shortly after he'd announced his move away from Alpine to Aston, so whether he actually has one is murky, but the badge is real. Top to bottom after that, he's been spotted in the Aston Martin Valkyrie around Monaco, F1 tech with number plates basically. His garage also runs deep on halos, a McLaren Elva and a Ferrari LaFerrari. He's previously had an Enzo as well. Daily life, an Aston Martin DBX shows up in brand content and interviews. Yeah, his garage is legendary, just like him, and just as the next driver's story. Imagine having a beast in the garage and you can't even legally take it out on this street yet.
Kimi.
Yeah. Brutal. Kimi Antonelli has been gifted a Mercedes AMG GT63S as his road car. The catch? Italian newbie driver laws cap power to weight at 75 kilowatts per ton for the first 3 years, which means Kimi can't legally drive that AMG on public roads at home, despite driving something far scarier for a living.
Antonelli spins into the gravel and into the wall.
Still, rumors say he registered his license in San Marino rather than Italy. If true, that could sidestep the Italian young driver power limit, since the restriction targets Italian-issued licenses, meaning for road use rules, he might fall under San Marino instead. However, there's a driver with the same suit that doesn't have this problem driving overpowered road cars. The guy who daily drives the science experiment, George Russell. Dude rolls up in the Mercedes AMG 1, and the cameras behave like they've just seen a spaceship. The engine in this beast is a modified version from the 2015 F1 car with 1,049 wheel horsepower, and the British driver has been seen driving at the tracks and even circulating Monaco in it. And the softer mentions, reports of a 1972 ATSL and an AMG G63 in the mix, and he's often seen driving in an AMG C63S. Sometimes his, sometimes part of Mercedes Arrive in Our Car program at tracks worldwide because, well, marketing.
It's a great car,
granted,
bro.
the one is a theatre on plates, and the C63S paddock entrances are a tidy flex on the side. Another driver that knows how to arrive in style is Tsunoda. Yuki doesn't just talk Honda, he shows up in one. Public features have Yuki paired with the Honda Acura NSX on camera, and he said outright that an Integra Type S sits on his personal wish list. On the day-to-day side, he's been linked to a Civic Type R as the sensible but not really daily turbo punch 300-ish horsepower and the perfect late-to-gym excuse. And because I don't want to throw the word owned around without receipts, we'll just stick to what's been shown and said. A Japanese F1 driver with a wish list that still reads VTEC with attitude. It tracks with the personal arc too. A kid who started small, sponsored by Honda, and is selective about what actually lives in the garage. Something that Hamilton might relate to nowadays. Lewis started with a simple second-hand Mini Cooper
Lewis
in
has a lot. I already know that.
2002 as his first car and an early Mercedes C-Class on loan, to a gallery of exotics that once included the Pagani Zonda 760 LH, Ferrari LaFerrari 599 SA Aperta, Mercedes AMG Project 1, G63 6x6, SLS AMG, McLaren F1, McLaren P1, vintage Cobras, classic Mustangs, and luxury cars like Maybachs and high-end Mercedes. And then a 2025 pivot in September when he said he sold his car collection and is more into art now. He also said that if he were to get another, the Ferrari F40 is the only one that still calls to him, but that's a piece of art. In between, you'd see him arrive with his trainer or security more often than driving himself, and every so often he'd show up in an MD Agusta Brutale 800RR LH44, spotted in Monaco and Austria, even lighting the rear tyre for the crowd. And his teammate, Charles Leclerc, is reportedly spotted in his tailor-made Ferrari 488 Pista Spider around Monaco, the 3.9-litre twin-turbo V8 with black paint and his number 16 touches, which, by the way, is the same car he used to follow some thieves after they stole his watch in Italy. Yeah, looks like a scene straight out of a movie, but it was real. In late 2024, he added the limited-run Ferrari SF90 XX Stradale, which he's used for arrivals through 2025, including Imola. Other sightings also include a Ferrari 812 Competizione Aperta outside the Monaco Casino, one of just 590-ish examples with values climbing well past the £560,000 baseline when personalised. Fewer cars, sharper intent, just Ferrari signatures that match the way he drives. Clean, quick, and a little ruthless. Onto the Papaya team. Oscar Piastri's road car story is clean and corporate, with official seat time in the McLaren 750S, the 4-litre twin-turbo V8 which he was given access to after joining the McLaren F1 team. A car which he described as responsive, agile, and the turning is sharp. The 750S is really fun to drive. Also seen with the McLaren Artura shortly after he joined the team. A fairly low-key garage for one of the standout drivers of this season. There's no verified first personal road car and no confirmed private collection beyond these brand-led appearances, so we'll just keep it to what's on record. Keep that measured energy, because next we pivot to the other half of Papaya.
Lando.
Someone who started in a tiny city car and somehow managed to get quite a collection. From professionalism to pure personality, Lando's road life actually starts small. First car, a Mini Cooper D, the kind of humble daily that makes some sense when you split in time between karts, school, and sim. Then came the quirks, a 1972 Fiat 500, Jolly he called it, which he later auctioned off. Sunroof, wicker seats, goodbye wave included. And through team life he's been seen in a McLaren GT, a bespoke 765 LT Spider, and a McLaren Senna that's been spotted in the wrap shop, all very much lap time first toys. And it doesn't stop there. A Liberty Walk R32 Nissan Skyline GTR, in full Kaido-inspired widebody and quadrant livery, proper JDM theatre. There's also a Lamborghini Miura P400, a Porsche Carrera GT, and an F40. The car that luckily survived a scare near Monaco. And to top the collection, a Land Rover Defender 90 Resta Mod. Seems like Lando's still building a collection. As he said once, I grew up loving cars. I'm lucky I get to drive them and buy them because I've always dreamed of it. Some drivers flip the helmet switch off when Sunday ends. Max just keeps racing.
Yeah.
If he's not leading a Grand Prix, he's jumping into a GT3 car for fun runs or logging hours in sim racing tournaments that blur the line between hobby and obsession. It's not a brand deal hobby, it's genuine. That's why when you look at his personal garage, it isn't just expensive cars. It's a lineup curated by someone who actually cares about performance, feel, and lap time. He was driving F1 cars before he could legally parallel park. Max had to wait until 18 under Dutch law, and that's when the paper finally arrived. His first road car was a Renault Clio RS that he already had at home. Now his headline toy is the Aston Martin Valkyrie, the newly bred spaceship that anchors the garage. He also has a Ferrari Monza SP2, SF90 Stradale, and 488 Pista, open air Barchetta, and track leaning V8, respectively. Track candy continues in Stuttgart trim with a Porsche 911 GT3 RS and 911 GT2 RS. Max has owned both flavors of Widowmaker leaning 911. Daily-ish duty once came via the Aston Martin DB11 and Aston Martin Vantage, while the humble hero badge goes to the Honda Civic Type R. His personal CTR even went to auction. So the pattern's obvious. In true Max style, lap time first, brand loyalty second. So there you have it, 20 different ways to show personality when the helmet's off. This proves F1 isn't just fast on the weekends, it bleeds into every part of their lives. And if you want to know more about F1 drivers, make sure to watch this one. And as
well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, to that notification bell. Have a blessed day.